honor of homecoming season, I thought, why not tell the story of the most ratchet shit I did on homecoming night? Little backstory that is important. From the middle of my freshman year to the beginning of my senior year, I was in a very toxic and abusive relationship with this boy. So my junior year homecoming, my homecoming date was, of course, my boyfriend at the time. Did he know that I just found out about him cheating on me with a minor yet again, the week of my birthday? No, he didn't know, but that's okay, because I was gonna get back at him. So I go to homecoming with this boy, live it up, whatever that means, come back to my house afterwards, do the dirty, unfortunately. Don't know why I agreed to that. I didn't agree to it, actually. Anyways, little did he know I had been texting his homie all day and planning to go over and see him after homecoming was over. So we were at my house, me and my boyfriend at the time. We were at my house hanging out after homecoming. And my parents were actually out of town. But he didn't know that. But I told him they were going to be back at some point in the night. So he needed to leave. That was a lie. This is straight up fucking lie. But this boy, he did not have a car. He did not have a fucking vehicle. So I drove him home. And while I'm driving him home, I'm texting this other boy, his homeboy. I'm like, hey, I'm taking him home right now. I'll be on my way there shortly. So I drop him off, go back to my house, get on Snapchat so that it updates my location and says that I'm at my house, because this motherfucker was crazy and he looked at my location all the fucking time. Went over to his homeboy's house, because his homeboy lives like 2 minutes away from me. And then didn't get on Snapchat for the rest of the night so that my location didn't update. And I fucking stayed the night with his homeboy. The best part about it is, he didn't find out about that night. He found out about the 17th time that I stayed the night at his homeboy's house. Oops. Did I feel bad about it at all? No, absolutely the fuck not. This man cheated on me with minors constantly, abused me mentally, verbally, sexually, emotionally, all of the above. So no, I don't feel bad. But it is so funny.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video, and on today's episode, guys, you already saw the clip that we played at the beginning of today's episode. So basically, this woman got with her partner's best friend, and it took him a while to figure it out, guys. Yet another reason why dudes are not dating. You know, I wonder if it ever occurs to these women when when they make these TikTok videos and when they post them for the public to see, that the public will actually view it, right? Because so many men see these videos and they're like, man, I don't even know what the point of dating some of these clowns are, guys. I literally covered a Reddit story yesterday, okay, where a woman cheated on her boyfriend. They had an apartment together, a few cats or something together as well. She cheated. He caught her cheating. He wanted to leave the relationship, and then she just broke all of his crap, guys. Like, a lot of these situations are straight up insane, and the unfortunate part about today's society right now, guys, is the fact that even if the woman does something awful, right, or even if the situation goes south for whatever reason, men are typically the ones who are left holding the bag and, you know, have their possessions taken, have their kids taken, and crap like that. But guys, we're gonna, you know, leave the bit of a rant there, and we're just gonna jump straight into today's Reddit story, okay? And this lines perfectly up with you know, men just being absolutely gaslit into oblivion. I am so sick and tired of men being in relationships, okay? I'm just gonna preface this story by saying the following, all right? I am so sick of men getting into relationships, okay, the woman will do some sort of screwed up behavior where, you know, she just does something that's completely out of pocket, just completely does some unacceptable behavior. And then she somehow convinces the guy that he's crazy, or she'll claim plausible deniability to get away with said bad behavior. And if you as a man, you turn around and you disagree and you say, look, I'm not interested, or this is crazy behavior, then all of a sudden you're just the complete and utter a-hole, guys. You know, some things that come to mind when I say this before we jump into today's Reddit story is a lot of girls will try and have these, oh, he's just a friend type situations where you as a man, you know perfectly well that the guy is not just a friend, okay? But the girl will try and sit there and convince you, oh, no, don't worry, he's just a friend. And then all of a sudden when your relationship ends, guys, you know, all of a sudden she's getting with this random dude who was just her friend. Like, literally so many men have experienced the situation that I have just described that it is absolutely disgusting, okay? But rant over, guys, let's just jump into today's Reddit story. And this is one of those ones where the plausible deniability is being claimed, okay? So this is on the Am I the Asshole subreddit, okay? As you can see, this is a very new story, 14 hours ago, 6.5 thousand upvotes on it. And the title reads, Am I the Asshole for being upset that my wife wanted to work out with a home wrecker? All right, so red flag should already be going off just by reading the title right here, guys. So he goes on to say, my 44-year-old male wife, who is a 43-year-old woman, has a colleague from work named Joe. I'm going to assume it's not actually the dude's name. He's just trying to keep it private. And Joe split from his wife a year ago. Joe also runs a home-based business as a fitness instructor. The way I understand it, he has his basement and backyard full of equipment, and people pay him in either groups or as individuals for training in his basement, okay? My wife took part as part of a group this summer. The sessions were at 7:30 a.m. and she told me one day that as she was arriving, a different colleague of hers, female, middle-aged, also a client of his, came walking out of his kitchen having a coffee, clearly having spent the night. So basically, this guy runs a little fitness center where he trains clients, whether it be in groups or whatever the case may be, and he sometimes gets with them. Okay, now if you guys watched the episode previous to this one, if we released it, if it's the one I'm thinking of, a lot of women, not all of them, but a lot of women will try and play this plausible deniability crap where they will chase guys in relationships or they'll chase guys in marriages, and then they'll turn around and say like, oh, he's just a friend, right? Or they'll put themselves in situations with these dudes because they're attracted to them, okay? And we'll probably have some of the 5 women who watch this channel, they're probably getting quite pissed off at this particular point in time. But let me just ask those 5 women who are watching this video right now, okay? Have you as a woman ever had it where you've been in a relationship with a man, or you've been in a marriage with a guy, and then some woman tries to snake your man from you? Like, you've had like a best friend, a girlfriend or something like that, and she'll come along and she'll try and take your man from you, and she'll just try and claim it under plausible deniability, like, oh, I just wanted to be friends with him or stuff like that. Like, I am telling you guys, okay, women will try and steal each other's boyfriends and husbands and stuff like that because a lot of them are attracted to these men by virtue of the fact that they have a wife or that they have girlfriends or that they see other previous girls in their past, right? So this guy who's running his little fitness home center thing, you know, if he's got girls who are staying the night and he's recently divorced from his wife, a lot of girls will come into this situation and go, oh, he's quite interesting, I want to steal him. So this guy's wife wanting to work out with this guy, just right off the bat, guys, it's just a giant red flag, okay? And a lot of people will say that men are, you know, controlling or that men are freaks, but guys, let's use our common sense here, guys. This is just a giant red flag, but let's keep going with the story here. Anyway, so the woman spent the night, basically, his wife is telling him. The thing is, this woman just split with her husband 4 weeks earlier. So the woman who stayed the night split with her husband 4 weeks earlier as well. So chances are these two were having an affair. Let's call it for what it is. Now, I don't have evidence, but it seems to me that due to only 4 weeks passing, and she is already announcing to colleagues that they are sleeping together, they very likely had something before she split with her husband, and it was very likely a contributing factor in her split from her family, hence the term homewrecker. Yeah, now guys, this is what I'm talking about here, okay? Is that when relationships end, a lot of people will say, like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been through situations where like you split up from your girlfriend or something like that, or your relationship ends, and then before you know it, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-wife is seeing some random dude. A lot of these people, particularly girls, because they have the options to do it, a lot of times girls will do, excuse me, what's called monkey branching. Now I think monkey branching is a term that was popularized by Coach Greg Adams. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Don't quote me on that, but you know, a lot of these girls will do what's called monkey branching, guys, which is where they'll set up a relationship before they end their previous one. And this is something that's really devastating to dudes who think that the women actually care about them. You know, not to be too nihilistic here, guys, but you know, the dudes will be very hurt by it because the women will oftentimes move on very quickly because they have the options to do so, and oftentimes they set up these situations beforehand, right? But let's keep going with the story. Fast forward 4 weeks, my wife tells me that she wants to go with a friend 2 evenings per week to this guy's place to work out with him in his basement. At first I said that I was going to say no, but after thinking about it for a couple of days, I told my wife I didn't like it and I wasn't comfortable with it. Well, she goes ahead and signs up anyway after I told her I wasn't comfortable with it. She doesn't tell me until an hour before the first session. Yeah, I'm just going to come out and say this, my guy. This is not your wife. This is not your girlfriend. This is not your partner. This is someone who wants to get with a personal trainer, and this is someone who doesn't respect you as a man at all. He goes on to say, well, I was quite pissed and we had a fight. She ended up canceling the workout sessions, but only did it basically because I told her to. She doesn't think anything is wrong with it and thinks I'm in the wrong here. It's been 2 weeks and we have been cold and distant ever since. So, am I the asshole? And so he goes on to give an edit here after he's had some people respond to the story. Edit for more info. I asked my wife if she thinks the guy was moving on the woman while, you know, they were married, blah, 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 and she agrees that it's likely. So the wife understands that the dude probably split up with his wife and the other woman probably split up from her husband as a result of these two getting together. I also asked my wife if the roles were reversed and I was working out with a female colleague in her basement and it was assumed that she slept with a married guy at my work contributing to a divorce, if she would be comfortable with it, and she wouldn't say either way. Let me answer this question for you. Yes, she would be uncomfortable. She just doesn't want to admit it because she wants to go see this random dude and quote unquote work out with him in his basement. And guys, I'll say this, okay? So she's saying that she wants to go with a friend. Chances are that the friend doesn't exist that she's going with, or chances are she's going to get the friend to try and leave early. And this is the amazing part about female psychology, guys. Let me just tap you in here, okay? This is absolutely hilarious. So if this woman decides to go with her friend, and then her friend senses that she's trying to get with the dude who's working out with these women, shall we say, then the friend is going to undoubtedly try and get with him as well, right? So this is what happens, guys, with the top percentage of men, right? Guys who have put work into their physique, who have got money and stuff like that. It's kind of like a snowballing effect where if one woman sees that other women like you, then other women just try and dogpile in on it and try and also get with that dude, guys. It really is some of the most desperate and, you know, cringe crap you'll ever see. And I've got to mute my phone, man. So again, while I understand it doesn't come off that way, I trust my wife, I don't trust the guy, and I just didn't like this situation. Okay, so obviously, guys, we have a situation here, you know, where we've got a woman who honestly is trying to get with her personal trainer. At least that's my perspective, guys. See, a lot of men in this particular situation would be gaslit and be like, oh, you know, Taylor, obviously nothing comes of it. But she knows that the dude literally got with this woman and that probably facilitated his breakup as well as hers. And she feels as though it's entirely appropriate, just completely disrespecting her husband in the process. So guys, I think that this is just an entirely awful situation for the guy to be in. And chances are he's already lost his wife at this point. But guys, we're going to be calling today's episode there. Make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the things we have covered here today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. They've been pumping out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and check them out. Their channels will, as always, be linked in the video description. But otherwise, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.